Jesse Jackson. This Friday, live starting at 8 a.m. Pacific, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hold your head high, stick your chest out. It gets dark sometimes, but the morning comes. Don't you surrender. When you hold on and hold out, keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
It's just me against the world. Me against the world, baby. I got nothing to lose. It's just me against the world. Me against the world, baby. Can you picture my prophecy? Stress in the city, the cops on top of me. The project is full of bullets, no bodies is dropping. There ain't no stopping me. Constantly moving while making millions. Witnessing killers, leaving dead bodies in the abandoned buildings. Carries the children cause they're illin'. Addicted to killing and the appeal from the cap villain. Without feeling, but will they last or be blasted? Hard at it. Maybe you're listening in this casket, the aftermath. More bodies being buried. I'm losing my homies in a hurry. They relocating to the cemetery. Got me worried, stressing my business blurry. The question is, will I live? No one in the world loves me. I'm headed for danger. Don't trust strangers. Put one in the chamber whenever I'm feeling this anger. Don't wanna make excuses, cause this is how it is. What's the use unless we're shooting? No one notices the youth. It's just me against the world, baby.
Yeah, me and this microphone against the world, Pac. Rest in peace. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's weird, Miles. Like, when I hear Tupac and I see people, I'm so glad that people still revere him and give him a lot of props. And when I see Eazy, it's weird because those were my friends, and now they're not just gone, right? Because all of us deal with the passing of our friends. They're gone, but they're still here.
Right.
And it's so strange. I don't know if I have survivor's remorse or what, because it's like, well, why am I still here and they're gone?
Yeah.
And I do feel a certain responsibility to tell the world about the sides of them that are not highlighted and the sides of them that people don't talk about. Maybe it's the full moon. I'm feeling really sad that my friends are gone.
Yeah,
you know?
It's the full moon. Plus, it's, as far as Pac goes, too, it's 30 years since he was taken from us.
It's
coming
crazy.
up.
It doesn't seem like 30 years at all.
I mean, it's dope because you were, like, some people seen the pictures and hear the music and, watch the documentaries. You got the scars. Like, you actually got to touch the... the
crazy
story.
thing is, this because you've worked with me for a long time now. I don't make friends with every celebrity that comes in. It's not because I don't like them or because I think I have some weird thing. I just don't. I'm kind of shy. I'm not really a big clout chaser. I like to have clout, but I don't chase it. And I'm not a party animal, so I've never really been that girl that hangs out with a lot of celebrities. Tavis has tons of famous friends. I really don't. But two of the people that I've met in this business that actually knew and actually helped me are Tupac and Eazy.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, I feel saddened, but I also do feel responsibility. I feel responsibility to say that who they are is not just who they were in the lyrics, or not who the movies show them to be, or the slander now. I think there's more slander. Are we in a slanderous era of hip-hop or people? Because people have always had beef, but I feel like now with social media, people really, it's not just beef. People want to take down folks' whole legacy and their character.
Yeah, I mean, it's attention. Everybody is dying and fiending for attention, and if that means that I got to claw onto the cadaver of Tupac and Eazy-E or whoever, or Nipsey Hussle or Pop Smoke or anybody like that who's not here to defend themselves, or the story won't change, it's already written in stone. Yeah, I get it. I 100% get it. Especially too, we in an age where we're not creative as a society as we think we are. So all we could do is go back and try to retell and repaint these old stories and breathe life into these types of symbols and these pillars of the community, and build off of that. So I'm not surprised it's going to happen more and more, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I've seen some terrible stuff written about Pac lately too. He has a lot of people that revere him, and then he has a lot of haters.
Right.
And
I think too, as we get further and further, as hip hop ages more and more, and the fat trims off and the trends die off, and what was good in the beginning isn't as good in the end. There's still going to be a few that are the staples and are going to be the ones that are going to tell the story. And Tupac right now is looking like the face of hip hop, in my opinion, for generations to come and generations past. When you look back at it.
Yeah, well, I always say, well, I'm like a Forrest Gump in this space because I end up being a place, right time, and such. And I think about even Greg Shock G. It's just weird that these people are gone, and I am still on this microphone. If you would have asked me back in the day, 30 years ago, when Pac was around or Eazy was around, when Greg was around, that I would still be on the mic and they would be gone, I never would have guessed that. And now I feel like I have to step up my storytelling so that they get the credit that they deserve and other people get the credit that they deserve. It's, you talk about people being gone. We started out talking about Michael Jackson. Now these folks that he paid money to, that traveled all over the world with him, they're suing him and changing their story. And there's a part of it where if you're the last person standing, you get to tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
But they're, never going to be the last person standing. So you got to be like an Amiri Baraka. You got to be like a Tupac. You got to be like even a Bernie Sanders who's still here. But there's so many people that love him that will tell the story and counteract the haters and ops.
Right. I think that too for you, Dominique, because you had your hands in it from the soil. It should be easier for you to tell the story, I believe, because you got all that energy and momentum with you and guiding you along the way. So it may not be what you want to do. It may not be the, emotionally feeling for you. It may, feel some tension. But I think that, the energy don't die, Dominique. They still around on that energy tip. They going to push that pin right along with you, I believe.
I mean, to be honest, it's not that I don't like it. I do. I feel honored to be able to tell the stories, but I don't have that giant platform yet, still. And it's just kind of weird. It's just a bizarre feeling that to be still on this side, I'm still above ground and they're gone. And
other people don't have these giant platforms either, but they're holding on to these cadavers trying to build a platform.
Ooh, I hate that so much.
You feel me?
Yeah. And sometimes I do take it personal. Sometimes I I do take it personal. But especially because I know what it's like to be lied on. I had someone lying on me yesterday and on social media. And I don't get lied on a lot because people don't,
Right.
A lot of people. I'm just not controversial like that, I guess. Or maybe they don't care. I don't know. But someone was lying on me yesterday, and what it made me think about was Eric, Eric Wright, a.k.a. Eazy. He was on my mind anyway because we did the funeral for Jesse Jackson, the homegoing and West Coast celebration there on Friday, and it was beautiful. And that is the very church where we laid Eazy-E to rest.
Wow.
And I was reflecting to myself what a different day it was and what a different crowd. That crowd, was Bloods and Crips and people with their bandanas. And it was during a time when the streets were still quite hot compared to how they are now. And then Friday, we had lots of elders and people who worked with Jesse Jackson and walked with Jesse Jackson. Dolores Huerta, for goodness sake, she's turning 96 in April and still protesting and crisscrossing the country. And it really got me thinking. Anyway, rest in peace, Pac. I will definitely commit to pushing back against the lies to the extent that I know how to do so. Against lies against Eric, against Greg, against Pac, Funny that Tupac sounds like a stage name, but it's actually his name.
Dominique, what's going to be dope is how quick, once you turn the light on, all the dark is going to scatter. It's that quick. That's how quick it's going to happen. So, yeah, I'm ready for it.
Well,
podcast episode, a short book.
Or a long one, yeah. Well, and even with that clip, that Tupac clip that went all over the internet and is still going over the internet, and it's me interviewing Tupac, and a lot of people cut me out of the clip and they make all kinds of dumb comments. And there's another clip. There's a radio clip that's on YouTube from my show the day that Eazy was on my show. And we started talking about people's record contracts. And Daz and Corrupt called in. They were mad. They didn't like what Eric was saying because he was talking about how terrible their contracts were with Death Row. And they called him out on the show. And it was they started cussing and I had to go to commercial. That is posted on the internet and it's credited to someone else, a man. And they, it's amazing how folks will erase you from your own work. It's one thing to be erased from history in a sort of general sense, but when it's specifically your show, your mic, your conversation, and you're being erased from it, it's very interesting because it reminds me that we have to
take up our space, fill our space.
Take up our space, but also do the double check stuff. Because that is absolutely wrong. That is not somebody else's show. That was my show. I was there. And Daz and Corrupt are still around. They can tell you whose show it was.
Yeah.
But if you look on internet, if you ask YouTube, if you ask AI, it was hosted and produced by a man.
Yeah, correct them, mother. You know what? Correct them all. Yes, that's our job. That's the thing. That's what you said. That's our job in this whole thing is to be the truth tellers and be the autocorrect for this BS that's going on right now. No.
Yeah, the autocorrect in radio's cast iron ceiling, because it ain't a glass ceiling around here. And I'm one that believes my blessings have my name on them. I have no bitterness about it because it's like a miracle that I'm still here. But I don't know if it's the blood moon or what, but I'm ready to fight back right about now. So don't come for me. Or do. Maybe that'll be good radio. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique the Primo. Miles Low is here. KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud.
A great place for progressive politics.
KBLA Talk 1580.
All the women who independent, throw your hands up at me.
This March, we're turning up the volume on the women who changed everything. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to celebrate Women's History Month, honoring the trailblazers, truth tellers, and game changers who shaped our world, our culture, and our community. From the freedom fighters to the firsts, from the boardroom to the front lines, from the unsung to the unforgettable. All month long, we're celebrating the stories, the voices, and the conversations that remind us that women, Black women, have always led the way. Don't miss a moment. This is our moment. This is our story. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580, Los Angeles' home for the conversations that matter.
I'm your girl, you're my girl, we're your girls. We want you to know that we love you.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hi, I'm Tavish Smiley, and I have some news. The room is full. Our founding members cohort on the art of conversation has begun, and I could not be more energized by the professionals who said yes to mastering the craft. Their dedication to curating great conversations reminds me why I do this work. Now, if you wanted to join us and did not make it in time, I want you to hear this. The next cohort is coming. I do not have the firm dates yet, but I do have a waiting list. And everyone on that list will receive early access and special discounts when enrollment opens. After almost 40 years of interviewing world leaders and cultural icons, I am teaching everything I know. Don't miss your chance to be in the next room. Go to TavishTalks.com and get on the waiting list right now. That's TavishTalks.com. The conversation continues. Will you be part of it?
Yeah, man.
Download the see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, thinking about punching back. You know, I never thought I would see the day when we had so many rap artists going Republican, going MAGA. You know, Pac was the one who said they got money for war but won't feed the poor. And coming up, back, you know, when we started, it was more like there were people that wanted to just party and, you know, all that political stuff is not for me. They just wanted to party and talk about sex and drugs and rock and roll or whatever. And then you had people that were more conscious, right? Now you have people that have gone all the way MAGA. You have people like Nicki Minaj, Rick Ross, and Snoop, who were formerly anti-Trump and are now pro-Trump. And I understand that some of these folks feel like he's going to let folks out of prison, which he has done a couple, but he's also put quite a few people away. And he has also weaponized the prison industrial complex, not just against immigrants, but also against black folks, and on and on and on. So it makes me sad, really. And especially because I think a lot of those people are taking the positions that they're taking without complete information. Do you think that hip hop is those artists, the Nicki Minaj's and Rick Ross's of the world, you think they influence the consumer, the general public, or do you think it's more of rich people aligning with rich people's champions?
I think they do. I think that the celebrity, we've been saying that for a while, celebrity part of hip hop and everything really, Hollywood, politics. I think all the celebrities dying of it. But they still have 50, 60 million Instagram followers each.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, having that type of control and reach to people and the network is definitely worth something. And you may convert a few people, but I don't think it's going to be as much as, you know, maybe would have been a couple years ago, maybe pre-COVID type stuff before the algorithm.
I mean, I think right now I wish, you know, sometimes I wish Pac was here. I wish my dad was here, you know, to talk about these people and clown them in creative ways that I might not think of. Mm-hmm. But I think it's really sad. And I feel like they're going to get left out there on the diving board because Trump is not coming to save you.
Nah, you say on diving, we're talking about the people, or you talking about the celebrities?
Whoever rappers goes out on that MAGA diving board that's black.
Yeah. You gonna burn with them. It's fire horse here, y'all.
Yeah, you think you springing into action, but you actually walking the plank.
You walking the look. You are the tip of the spear.
Yeah, and I think it's what Paul Mooney used to call the illusion of inclusion. They think that because they're rich and they're celebrities, they're immune to that.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I think a lot of it also, they realize they're a part of the system and they just going to go along with what's getting them paid at a certain point in time.
Yeah, but you are here every single day. You were here when we had the millionaires to tax millionaires on, right? Not every rich person is a pure devil. In fact, there's plenty of rich people that are not devils at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just because you're rich doesn't mean you have to be a devil.
Right, but I think that they're devils that are like, all right, cool, whatever, it's where we at with it.
A devil, a demon.
Yeah.
You know, a minion of a devil. Like, you don't have to make those choices. Stevie Wonder's very wealthy.
True.
And he does a lot of good for the world every single day.
Right. That's a conscious choice. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I think that there are people who want to do good and there are people that want to look out for themselves. I think that once you just accept the fact that it's cool now to just look out for yourself, you have nothing else that's going to make you cool besides looking out for yourself and having this wealth and having, playing a part of this game. We're learning that people don't have personality anymore. People don't have actual skills. People don't have, it's serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All we got to stand on right now is money in some people's case. That's all they have. That's their life. That's their...
So buy some sense. You know what I mean? There's teachers, there's colleges, there's books.
Yeah, but
there's gurus. Go get you something. Find your mojo.
But when I'll use a specific example. When you've been boxing for all your life and you have no other choice but to get back in the ring and box.
Stop talking about Mike Tyson.
Him too. Him too.
Leave Iron Mike alone.
Him too. Also, other private jet, Mr. Private Jet, over to the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's a whole enigma because I was always team money.
Me as well.
But
TBE, the best ever, all that. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, I was always on their team. But the problem for me is the Zionism. Like I was not on board with. I used to always say I'll teach him how to read. Like I'll personally give him lessons. But if you
don't care.
If you're somehow okay with the murder of thousands of children,
as long as you got the rollie, as long as you got $1 million in your bag and you got the latest watches and you got the private jet and you good.
And I don't think you have to know how to read to know that's wrong.
Exactly.
So I had to dump him.
Nor be broke, nor have money, nor...
He doesn't know I dumped him because he doesn't even know me, but I dumped you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I think that, people are trendy, right? We see things come and go. We see how everyone was down with black people in 2020, and only the ones that are really rolling with us are still there now.
Yeah.
But that pendulum swings back, right?
Yeah, leading people over there when it swing back then.
What happens to you with your empty soul and your giant booty?
Hate to see it. I'd hate to see it. You're on that plank with them.
I mean, black people, we take most people back. We are pretty kind.
Yeah, but...
There's few who don't get invited back in.
I don't
but
think
there
it's gonna
are
work.
some. And here's the other thing. Like, look down the road a little bit.
Mm.
People are pretty tired of billionaires right now. We used to be in this billionaire worship. Maybe 10 years ago, everyone wanted to sit at the feet of a billionaire. How did you do it? How did you get rich? Teach me, Yoda. And now the conversation is, why are there billionaires? Nobody needs $1 billion. And it's going to keep going that way more because you have the Elon Musks of the world who gives less to charity than most anybody. I think he's among the lowest charitable givers in the whole wide world and is the richest in the world, right? And as things get more and more and more expensive and people can't afford to feed their kids and billionaires make stupid statements and our president just now learned what the word groceries actually means, that hatred or resentment against billionaires is going to grow.
So do you think that's going to, look down the road then, does this lead to the system tearing down or does this lead to more people falling into the system? And just a select few, like the true ones who are supposed to be out of it, falling out of the system?
I think it could lead to revolution.
Okay.
I mean, ask Marie Antoinette about that. When you get too out of touch, let them eat cake-ish, which is about where we are now. It could also what it definitely will lead to is your conspicuous consumption is out of style. Read the room, Kardashians. It's, the Rolex and the big car. You don't agree, but watch me. I'm pretty sure I'm right on this.
I mean, but we know McDonald's has been bad. People still are lined up around the building they may be sponsoring. Let me not say that name. But,
okay, well,
you know what I mean?
But
people still smoke cigarettes.
The name you're not saying is actually way down. Their sales are way down, partly because their prices went too high.
Right.
But also, they're marketing to a wealthier crowd now.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if the system died or does the marketing strategy change to keep the same people attached to it.
Yeah, the marketing strategy changes, but
do they get more and more cruel on how they keep people in the game?
Oh, yeah, for sure,
You know what I
when
mean?
you're talking about government. But when you're talking about celebrities who rely on fans and record labels.
But if they're doing crap to intentionally just mess with people to keep them tuned into the algorithm of and keep their eyeballs on something, like we saw Vlad the other day. Vlad TV did a big post talking about Jay-Z and Rock Nation, and Jay-Z paid to have Tory stabbed and paid to the doctor to lie about Megan's foot. Oh, I'm trolling. You know what I mean? Like, does all that just to say you're trolling, just to get attention, just to have people in an uprage and outroar. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's pretty suspect anyway.
But he's not as suspect as he's just as suspect as all the other people that we're talking about now, though.
Really?
I think he's just as controversial as Nicki Minaj. He's just as controversial as a Rick Ross, as a Floyd. He's on that same level.
I need to do a deep dive on him.
He's just not black.
From what I see, he's way more suspect than a Nicki Minaj.
They all the popos at the end of the day.
Right, popo backwards is op. So that's what I'm saying. They're suspect, and you're always going to have those folks. But when the people move. Sometimes the people move away from the algorithm. They move away from the rich. They move away from the government, the control. That's what happened in 2020. It's coming again. And those folks, I believe, are going to get left at the end of the diving board. It's already starting to happen. Do you want to hear what Kim Kardashian or even, I don't know, Snoop has to say about a lot of things?
Nope.
I think fewer and fewer people do.
Nope. I want to hear none of them.
Yeah.
Turn the TV off, y'all. Turn the TV off.
But not the radio, okay? News, traffic, and sports. Then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominic DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with BIN News Now. The joint attack launched by the U.S. and Israel over Iran over the weekend has some California lawmakers calling for a vote on war powers resolution. The strike has divided Congress. Bay Area Congressman Mike Thompson is one of several lawmakers urging Congress to vote on whether to limit the president's authority to use military force moving forward.
Congress has a legal obligation to participate in any decision to go to war, and Congress should have been included.
The British Prime Minister said the United Kingdom will not take part in airstrikes against Iran, emphasizing that the country, quote, does not believe in regime change from the skies. Queen Latifah is set to headline the AIDS Healthcare Foundation's annual Florida AIDS Walk and Music Festival. The event will be in Fort Lauderdale Beach on March 21st. Get BIN News Now on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers bounced back from a 17-point deficit in the third quarter Monday night at Golden State and pulled away for a 114-101 victory. Kawhi Leonard led the Clippers with 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Darius Garland made his Clippers debut Monday night. Garland had 12 points in 23 minutes off the bench. Garland had been sidelined with a foot injury since the February 5th trade that brought him from Cleveland in exchange for James Harden. Garland is on a minutes restriction. When he's cleared by the Clippers medical staff to get more playing time, he will become the team's new starting point guard. The Clippers are home Wednesday against Indiana. The Lakers are back in action tonight against New Orleans at Crypto.com. The Lakers appear to have found some rhythm in their offense. They won their last 2 games by an average margin of 26 points. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I have some news. The room is full. Our founding members cohort on the art of conversation has begun, and I could not be more energized by the professionals who said yes to mastering the craft. Their dedication to curating great conversations reminds me why I do this work. Now, if you wanted to join us and did not make it in time, I want you to hear this. The next cohort is coming. I do not have the firm dates yet, but I do have a waiting list. And everyone on that list will receive early access and special discounts when enrollment opens. After almost 40 years of interviewing world leaders and cultural icons, I am teaching everything I know. Don't miss your chance to be in the next room. Go to TavishTalks.com and get on the waiting list right now. That's TavishTalks.com. The conversation continues. Will you be part of it?
Yeah, man.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Don't be afraid to say what you see. We are being joined now in the clutch. You know, morning radio is wild. It's like a juggling. You're like juggling. You're talking on the phone and things are coming in and out and new information is coming and breaking news and guests drop out at the last minute. It just happens. It's part of life. And joining me right now for our final 30 minutes, we have a civil rights activist who's also an attorney and an R&B singer. He is attorney Chirs Martin coming in the clutch here for the last few moments of the last half hour of our show. Good morning, Attorney Martin.
Good morning, Dominique. How's it going?
Good. I appreciate you stepping in here to rescue me on this microphone this morning.
Yes, most definitely.
So I think today is the official start of election season, at least to me, because it's the primaries in Arkansas, in Texas, and we're going to start to see some actual results. And sort of the midterm elections, also North Carolina, the midterm elections, sort of where we're headed, what
absolutely.
response we're going to have to this MAGA train wreck that we're living right now, if any, or if people are just going to go along to get along, if the elections will be so compromised by these appointments by Republicans to boards and different bodies that control the elections. All of that is kind of going to start to come forward today. And I was talking to my Republican guest earlier, Lenny McAllister, about a race that's taken on national proportions, which is the Senate race there in Texas, where you have two Democrats, it's James Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett. James Tallarico is a state representative. Jasmine Crockett is in Congress running to be the Democrat in that race. And how Republicans really want Crockett to win because they think it's easy to beat a black woman. Do you have thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's sad that they think that way, right? But they do feel like it's easier to beat women, especially with what Trump did in both of his elections, you know. But we're going to have to make sure that the people of Texas prove them wrong, you know. And I'm praying that, Jasmine Crockett is able to come through and, do everything that she needs to do, and that the Democrats out there are able to do everything that they need to do.
It's crazy, Attorney Martin, because when you think about it, this is the Tallarico guy, who is the white man in the race, who's also a Democrat. He was supposed to be on Stephen Colbert, and Trump blocked it. This is how badly they want Jasmine Crockett to be their opponent, because they can use their racist, sexist, misogynist playbook. The fact that they're doing everything, they're not suppressing Jasmine Crockett from being on anywhere. They're trying to stop this Tallarico guy, even though Texas is traditionally red. It's traditionally Republican, and it would be wild if, I'm hoping that they play themselves, because we could end up with a black woman in the Senate, which is pretty rare.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm hoping, and that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. You know, they're going to play themselves. You know, we're going to end up with that black woman in the state. You know?
Yeah. Of course, today is.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, I feel like it could go either way. I mean, I see the strategy, and there is a reason why they are doing it like that. So.
Well, I think it's good. I'm with you. I agree. I hope she's the nominee. Whether she wins or loses, I hope she's the nominee. Because because she's a black woman, because she seems to be a pretty good lawmaker. She's not a radical. She's I'd say mildly progressive, but she's also had some unfair online campaigns about her meant to make progressives give her the side eye. I do think it's possible she could pull it off. I know people that live in Texas, including Dr. Gerald Horn, and they are mobilizing against her. Republicans in Texas hate Jasmine Crockett. They are going to spend big money, and they're going to do everything they can to make her lose. And she might go ahead and win, just like Mayor Karen Bass did against $103 million here in L.A. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm hoping for.
Right. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's the voters that matter more than the money. You know.
Yeah.
And whoever can reach out to the voters and make an impact with them, that's who's going to win over who's got the money, I think.
Yeah, I think you put your finger on that, and I'm pretty sure that's why you decided to run here in the city of LA, because you're probably not the biggest funded candidate, and you're probably not. I'm guessing. You're probably not the biggest name. You are the only a black candidate in that running for the 9th district. But today is also a deadline, right, for candidates here in Los Angeles.
Tomorrow, the 4th, March 4th.
It's tomorrow.
The deadline to turn in the petitions to get on the ballot. You need a minimum of 500 signatures of registered voters in the district in order to, get on the ballot. So,
for city council.
Everybody's scrambling.
Yeah.
What was that?
For city council, right? Because it's different. It depends how many total voters. I don't know the formula. I was talking with Billion about it this morning because he's running for office. And I think it's 1% or some percentage of the number of voters in the district. So you had to get 500. Are you going to make it? You have till tomorrow.
Yes, I'm going to make it. I have well over 500 signatures. So I'm just going to keep on going until tomorrow, just to keep on increasing the likelihood that I'll get on there. Because inevitably some of the signatures are going to be, bad signatures, right? Some of them are going to turn out to not be registered. Some of them are going to turn out to not be in the district, So even if you get 500, you still got to keep on going until, you get as many as you can,
Yeah, and I thought that so you have to sign up to run for office by the deadline, which was a while ago, right?
Correct.
And then you have until whatever the deadline is, in this case it's March 4th, to turn in your signatures. I thought that if you didn't get the signatures, you didn't get to run. But that turns out to not be true, right? You can pay a fee instead? Is that true in the city council race also?
You could be a write-in candidate. How it works here with the city council race is if you get a minimum of 500 registered voters, then you'd have to pay the fee in order to, get on the ballot. If you get 1,000 registered voters, you won't actually have to pay the fee. So that's how that goes. And then I would imagine if you don't even get 500 signatures, you could certainly be a write-in candidate. I don't know whether or not there's a fee that's attached to that. I do know some folks who did that.
But being a write-in candidate in L.A. makes you a very, 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 very long shot.
Exactly. So we try to do it the right way,
Yeah. Understood. Well, Godspeed and good luck. Let's go to Eric calling us from the city of Carson. Good morning, Eric. You're on with Attorney Chirs Martin and me, Dominique DePrima.
Good morning, Dominique and Mr. Martin.
Yeah.
My question is one, how does your background as an attorney prepare you for the political campaign that you're on? And two, are you simultaneously practicing while you are doing this?
That's a great question. I'll answer the second one first because I think that's the easiest one. I'm more or less pretty much all in on the campaign, so I'm definitely not practicing full time right now, It'd be impossible. It'd be impossible, brother, to practice full time while running this campaign. Just the amount of things that I have to do in order to continue to make myself viable in the places that I have to be and speak at and all of that stuff. It'd be impossible to be, in court on a full time basis doing it. So I'm not practicing full time, minus a few cases that I, decided to keep and, I'm litigating right now. And then how does my background as an attorney prepare me to run for office and to do what I need to do in City Hall? I think it prepares me excellently because I'm used to dealing with people who are, adversarial towards me. Not only that, but as a civil rights attorney, my background is in taking on powerful institutions that harm our people. My background is in taking on, institutions like LAPD, like LASD, like major corporations that try to, disenfranchise the voiceless. And my background is in winning against those powerful institutions and giving a voice to the voices. And that same fight that I, have, done there as a lawyer, I can take that same fight to City Hall.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Eric. Did that clear up what you were trying to find out?
I could go on all day, but yeah, that answers my question.
You could go on all. Okay, so let me ask you: do you think Jasmine Crockett can go all the way?
Me personally,
yeah, you personally.
I think she should do exactly what she's doing. I think she has obstacles that you've outlined that are clear, but like Attorney Martin, that doesn't frighten me. I like to fight, so I say go for it.
Okay, all right, I agree, but be careful out there, Eric. It's a blood moon, full moon, total lunar eclipse, and our inner werewolves are coming out. Don't sock nobody in the head today, okay?
I'll take that advice.
I mean, I'm talking to myself too, by the way, Eric, not just you.
I appreciate it.
Do not turn up, Dominique. Do not turn up on the mic.
Right,
We almost
that's good
through.
advice.
We almost made it through today without getting fired. So that's pretty good. Thank you for your thank you for your call, Eric. It's much appreciated. 35 years ago today, Rodney King was savagely beaten by LAPD officers in the Lakeview Terrace neighborhood in the Valley here in LA. I want to get your thoughts on that when we come forward. Attorney Chirs Martin on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What if your rooftop could earn you money every year? With LADWP's Solar Rooftops program, you can get solar panels installed and maintained on your home at no cost and earn up to $900 a year. That's up to $18,000 over 20 years. There are no upfront costs, no credit checks, and no annual fees. Plus, you'll help power Los Angeles with clean local solar energy and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Make your rooftop work for you. Apply today at ladwp.com/solarrooftops.
You are the architect of your own legacy, but you don't have to build it alone. I'm Lisanne Basquiat, a board-certified NLP expert and legacy healing strategist. I've built the Shaping Freedom platform to give you the exact tools you need to evolve. From my signature podcast and Lounging with Lisanne meditations to our intentional candles and journals. Stop living on autopilot. Visit shapingfreedom.com to access the teachings and tools you deserve for you and your family. Your evolution begins at shapingfreedom.com.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
It was 35 years ago today that Rodney King was beaten badly by members of the Los Angeles Police Department. It was coincidentally caught on actually film by a visitor, an actual visiting filmmaker. And I say that because now we kind of expect videos because everyone has a camera on their phone. We didn't have that back then. It was very rare to see this kind of thing. Now we see people being murdered on camera by cops all the time. This was unusual. It was a game changer. It was not as much of a game changer as we thought because the local court found those officers not guilty. He had to go to the feds to get justice. He didn't die. He was beat up very badly, traumatized. I think one of the reasons I never forget this, Attorney Chirs Martin, is because I interviewed Rodney King not long before he died.
Wow.
And I could see it in his eyes. I could feel it in his spirit. The trauma, the pain, the horror, even though it was many years later, because he talked about how everywhere he went, if he saw flashing lights, his body froze, right?
Yeah.
And that every single cop he encountered tried to prove a point to him. And they were, had a vendetta against him because he was Rodney King. He had to live with the weight of that his entire life. And it was heavy. It was heavy. That's why I never believed that he died from an accidental drowning. He was an expert swimmer. Very suspect.
Yeah.
But some changes came about because of that. Some changes to the LAPD, some changes to the way we think about policing. What are your memories or thoughts? I mean, of course, you were probably not even born. If you were a little kid. But when you look at it through today's legal analysis, how do you see the Rodney King matter?
Yeah, I mean, I think that ultimately Rodney King and that incident truly did shock the world, and it forced America to confront what Black folks have been saying for generations, right? That what happened to him wasn't just an anomaly; it was like exposure of a system that too often uses force without accountability, and ultimately, I think that Rodney King teaches us that progress doesn't come from silence or, forgetting. It comes from truth, accountability, and sustained pressure for justice. And, I'm just reminded that we just got to continue to commit ourselves to a future where, our safety and our lives and our dignity, is not necessarily conditional, but that is guaranteed for us. We got to continue to fight for that, and that's what Rodney King's life and legacy teaches me. As far as like where I was back then, it's one of my earliest memories. I was born in 1988, and so I was about 4 years old when it happened, and I remember the uprising, and the rebellion that occurred shortly after the verdict. I remember, passing by Florence and Normandy, because that's where, I lived in South Central, so I just remember, just seeing the streets look completely different, and I just remember seeing a whole bunch of people, but I didn't necessarily know what was going on as a 4-year-old child, though, It's
wild that you have any memories of that at all, being so young. But certainly it has to figure in your, your legal calculus, because you have done a lot of work on police abuse and ending anti-Blackness in your work as a lawyer. So that's wild that you can remember it at all.
Yeah. Like I have the image of the little liquor store that was kind of like, on Florence and Normandy, where the epicenter of the uprising was, so like that's one of the memories that's like in my mind. I remember like hearing the term National Guard for the first time as a 4-year-old child. Yeah.
That's wild. Well, I do want to shout out the Rodney King Foundation this morning. His daughter Laura keeps the work going. You can find them at rodneyking.org, rodneyking.org. You can find them on Instagram under Rodney King, official Rodney King Foundation. And they are doing work to promote positive racial relations and achieve social justice. Laura King, a lovely young woman, and she's doing great work. So I just wanted to say that on this day, because we are remembering him on this day.
Yes.
And hopefully continuing to move the ball, doing our part to move the ball toward justice. Just got a minute here. Attorney Chirs Martin, what would you like to leave us with?
I would just like to leave you with, I know we were talking about the election, and I'll just say that I'm the young brother who was following the footsteps of Gilbert Lindsay, the humble janitor who went from sweeping the floors of City Hall to becoming the first and longest-serving black city council person in Los Angeles city history, and the only person on this ballot who is fighting to keep that legacy alive within City Hall and give black folks a voice at City Hall. So remember the name Chirs Martin come election time. Thank you so much.
All right, Attorney Chirs Martin, I appreciate you stepping in this morning. We can find you where on socials?
Yeah, you can follow me on social media at Doc, D-O-C, Doc_Martin88.
Doc_Martin88 on IG. And thank you for that.
And on Facebook.
I'm laughing because you see Chirs Martin on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And Doc_Martin88 on Instagram. I'm laughing because you said you're like Gilbert Lindsay going from janitor to council member, but I don't know that lawyer to council member is quite as big a leap, but we'll take it. We'll take it. And thanks for sharing the process. You know, I used to think I was going to run for something, but I think those thoughts are now gone from my head. Good luck to you. And
thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes, and good luck to all of us in this election season. Tavis Smiley's up next. He's got a fully loaded show for you this fine day. You do not want to miss that. You want to keep it locked right here. Don't forget, you can chat with me on social media. I love talking with you. Just don't lie on me. Hey, even if you lie on me, I still love chatting with you. You can find me at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio on every platform, including YouTube. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a smart aleck comment. I love keeping it going even when we are not on the radio. And of course, like my dad, the late, great Amiri Baraka once said, a person is either free or they are not free. There can be no apprenticeship for freedom. Like my mama, the late, great Diane DiPrima used to say, history is now. And as I always say, we're making it together. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with BIN News Now. The joint attack launched by the U.S. and Israel over Iran over the weekend has some California lawmakers calling for a vote on war powers resolution. The strike has divided Congress. Bay Area Congressman Mike Thompson is one of several lawmakers urging Congress to vote on whether to limit the president's authority to use military force moving forward.
Congress has a legal